Hi, I'm Hope, and welcome to SkyCalm, Fear-Free Flying. I'm so glad you're here. If you're listening to this, there's a good chance that flying makes you feel uneasy, or maybe it completely terrifies you. Whether you're someone who white-knuckles every flight, or you've been avoiding airplanes for years, I want you to know something really important. You're not broken. You're not dramatic, irrational, or weak. You're human. And this fear, while incredibly uncomfortable, is incredibly common. Today we're going to explore a big question. Why do we fear flying? Not just on the surface, but deeper. What's actually going on when our heart starts racing at the gate, or we feel like we can't breathe during turbulence? Why does flying, something that millions of people do every day, feel so threatening to some of us? We'll unpack the psychology behind it, where that fear tends to come from, how our brains process flying as a threat, and what we can do to begin shifting that fear into something more manageable and eventually even empowering. I'll also share a few tools along the way, including our new app, SkyCalm, which I created to support you when you need it most. But this episode isn't just about promoting the app. It's about understanding yourself, showing yourself compassion, and realizing that there are real, effective ways to move through this. So take a deep breath, get comfortable, and let's talk. Let's start here. Fear of flying isn't just about flying. It might feel like it is. After all, the fear kicks in when you're near an airport or sitting on a plane. But the truth is, flying touches on multiple fears at once. It's like a cocktail of anxieties all showing up in the same space. For many people, it starts with a fear of heights. For others, it's claustrophobia, that feeling of being stuck in a tight space with no easy exit. Some people are deeply afraid of losing control. Others have experienced panic attacks in the air and become terrified of it happening again. And then there's the really big one, the fear of crashing. Even though air travel is statistically the safest way to travel, our brains don't always operate on logic. They operate on emotion, memory, and perception. If you've seen a plane crash in a movie or heard a story on the news, even if it was years ago, your brain might have stored that imagery as something personally threatening. It's like a file in your subconscious labeled flying equals danger. And every time you get near an airport, your body starts flipping on the alarm system. You might feel your heart race, your breath shortens, your stomach tightens, your hands might get clammy, and then your thoughts begin to spiral. What if I can't handle it? What if I have a panic attack in front of everyone? What if something goes wrong? That's your fight or flight response, which, ironically, can show up strongest while you're trying to fly. Here's the really important part. Your brain isn't trying to hurt you. It's trying to protect you. It just doesn't always have the right information. It's reacting to a perceived threat, not an actual one. Our brains are incredible at keeping us safe from real danger, but they're also kind of primitive. They haven't totally evolved to differentiate between a plane going through normal turbulence and a life-or-death situation. Your body reacts as if the plane is falling out of the sky, when really, it's just moving through a patch of bumpy air, the same way a boat moves through choppy water. And you can't logic your way out of that feeling. That's where a lot of people get frustrated. They say, I know flying is safe, I know the statistics, but I still panic. That's because fear isn't just in your head, it's in your body. And your body needs to feel safe before your brain can relax. This is one of the biggest things I've learned in my own journey, and one of the core reasons I created SkyCalm. It's not just about learning facts about flying, although we have that too. It's about helping your nervous system regulate in real time. Inside the app, we've included breathing techniques designed to activate your parasympathetic nervous system, the part of your body that says, hey, it's okay now, you're safe. Even just 60 seconds of focused breathing can help reduce cortisol and bring you back to center. And if you're mid-panic and can't think clearly, the SOS button walks you through it, step by step. It's like having a calming coach in your pocket. But back to the fear. Another piece of this puzzle is what's called anticipatory anxiety, the anxiety we feel before the actual flight. Sometimes it's worse than the flight itself. You start worrying days or even weeks in advance. You imagine all the things that could go wrong. You lose sleep, you try to distract yourself, but the thoughts keep coming back. That's your brain trying to gain control. It's trying to prepare you, but it's also exhausting you before you've even stepped foot on the plane. One technique that helps is naming the fear. Instead of letting it swirl around like fog, try this. Write down the specific things you're afraid of. Not just flying, but the details. I'm afraid of turbulence. I'm afraid I'll panic and want to get off the plane. I'm afraid something will go wrong and I'll have no control. Once you name the fear, you can begin to address it. In SkyCalm, there's a Q&A section where we break down these fears in everyday language. For example, did you know that turbulence is completely normal and that planes are designed to handle it? Most turbulence feels far worse than it actually is. It might jostle your drink, but it's not dangerous. It's just nature doing its thing. The more you understand the mechanics of flight and the more tools you give your body to calm down, the less control fear has over you. You might not be able to eliminate anxiety completely, and that's okay. But you can learn to fly with it. You can learn to sit with the discomfort, breathe through the panic, and trust that it will pass, because it will. Here's something I love to remind myself of. Turbulence is temporary. Panic is temporary. Flights always land, and so does fear. Before I wrap up, I want to encourage you to track your progress, even if it feels small. Every time you face this fear, you're teaching your brain something new. You're saying, I can handle this. That's why we built a journal section into SkyCalm, so you can look back and see how far you've come. Maybe you made it through a rough patch of turbulence without crying, or you boarded a flight alone for the first time, or maybe you just downloaded the app and listened to this episode. That counts. Every step matters. And remember, you don't have to fix your fear overnight. You just have to keep showing up with kindness, with curiosity, and with the reminder that you are capable of more than you think. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I hope this episode gave you a little more clarity and maybe even a little more hope. If you're ready for more support, the SkyCalm app is available now in the App Store. It's there for you before the flight, during the flight, and even after. Because this journey isn't just about flying, it's about freedom. Until next time, keep breathing, keep moving forward, and know that you are never alone up there. You've got this.